Hello and welcome. Today we will talk about what is Lightning Network. The official definition of the Lightning Network tells us that Lightning is a decentralized network that uses the smart contract functionality in the blockchain to enable instant payments across a network of participants. Let's try to clarify everything. Lightning is a decentralized network, layer 2 of Bitcoin. Thanks to the use of smart contract functionality in the blockchain, it is possible to process instant payments. Let's start from a fundamental concept, layer 2. Lightning is a network built on top of Bitcoin, it's layer 1. It could not exist without the mother blockchain, and in any case it would have no purpose. Layer 2 are solutions designed to somehow improve the underlying network. For example, Ethereum has several networks of this type, such as Arbitrum and Polygon, that overcome its limitations and expand the proposition. Lightning has precisely this role, to give something more to Bitcoin. For the more curious, our article on Layer 0, Layer 1 and Layer 2 is the perfect place to learn more about these realities. In the previous paragraph we listed the limits of Bitcoin, reaching the conclusion that it is not exactly the best technology available for the world of micropayments. Who wants to wait tens of minutes, if not hours, before being able to complete a payment? Which individual would be willing to spend high commissions, perhaps higher than the purchased good? In general, how can you think that the crypto revolution will reach every business if the underlying technology only supports 7 transactions per second? Visa, the famous circuit of electronic payments, processes thousands of them. Lightning Network is the technical solution that makes Bitcoin a blockchain absolutely capable of coping with high traffic loads, much higher than that of the just mentioned Visa. This layer 2 has solid and important strengths. Speed. It is a very fast network, able to complete transactions instantly. Inexpensive. Gas fees are negligible, almost nil. Number of transactions. In addition to being fast, this layer 2 could potentially support hundreds of thousands and even millions of movements per second. How does Lightning Network work? To understand how Lightning Network works, we need to use some examples and introduce payment channels. First, let's imagine going to the bar to have a coffee, deciding to pay for it in Bitcoins. Given the problems we have already discussed, we spend a decidedly higher amount on gas fees than on drinks. In short, it's not the best to drop almost €5 for a coffee, right? In other periods it could easily have cost even 20, 30 or 50. If there is a lot of demand, the gas fees skyrocket. Let's go one step further. We take coffee at the bar every day. Well, here the problem would be further amplified. For once he could spend even €5, but not every day. However, we find a solution by asking the bartender to keep an account open. At the end of the month we will pay for all the coffees consumed, compressing them into a single transaction and drastically reducing gas fee costs. Obviously there are still limits. It is not possible to open an account at every activity frequented. Even if it were, we'd have to travel half the city in the middle of the month just to pay off our debts. Barriers would still remain. For example, how to go about making a single purchase. It is therefore necessary to find a method that actually contains the gas fees for each movement, usable everywhere and applicable to any type of sale. Payment channels. The starting point for solving the problem. The payment channels respond to this profile. These are precisely payment channels that follow the model of the bill at the bar. 2 subjects open a channel on the blockchain through a multi-sig transaction, paying a certain initial capital. At this point, they can send each other as many transactions as they want without paying any commission. For sure they could spend the day bouncing each other a sum, there would be no problem. This is due to the fact that the channel operates off-chain, not interacting with the blockchain in any way until it is closed. Once you reach the point where you want to end the movements, the channel is terminated, the transaction sent to layer 1 and the sums adapted. By doing so, the number of operations is reduced and, consequently, the related costs. Not only that, the blockchain is not burdened as most of the work has been done off-chain. As we said, this system is inspired by the classic bar account. It carries out transactions but does not record them until the channel is closed. Exactly what the bartender does. He marks the drinks on a sheet and periodically comes to claim the amount due. However, payment channels have limitations. They only support 2 subjects, me and the bartender, you and the mechanic, Satoshi and his friend Vitalik. This is a huge obstacle. How many channels should we open if we wanted to pay for all our purchases with Bitcoin? Continuous opening and closing. Payment channels have limited operating times and still require continuous opening and closing. They are therefore not practical as an extended form of payment. The goal is to reduce timing and costs, and by opening channels galore we would not get either one or the other. So what is the remedy? Lightning Network. Instant Bitcoin payments at minimal cost. Finally, we come to the subject of this study. The Lightning Network takes advantage of the payment channels mechanism but removes its limits. The result is a reliable and sustainable system, designed for Bitcoin micropayments. Lightning is a network of nodes that share liquidity and take advantage of smart contracts to work in synergy. There is no longer the need to open a channel with each person. We will rely on others to get our BTC to its destination. In fact, we will take advantage of existing channels. The only fundamental point is that the recipient has at least one. For example, if Mark were to send Bitcoins to Danny, they could go through Bob's node, bounce off Carol's, and finally arrive at their destination. The advantages of this system are numerous. You don't have to open a channel with each counterparty. In doing so, time and costs are reduced. In fact, starting a channel would require a transaction on the blockchain. The same goes for its subsequent closure. The movements are very fast, practically instantaneous. This is essential for day-to-day payments. The transactions have a negligible price. My €1 coffee will cost a few thousandths more, not €5. By operating off-chain, privacy is ensured. The blockchain guarantees security. If one of the parties tried to tamper with it, Layer 1 would be able to pinpoint the problem. In these situations, the blockchain becomes a kind of judge and assigns the punishment to the transgressor, i.e. the forced withdrawal of a portion or even all of its funds, turned over to the injured party. Obviously, for correct functioning, the system requires two fundamental elements: paid-up capital and a large user base. Weaknesses of the Lightning Network. As great a service as it is, Lightning is not without its weaknesses. Specifically, the main ones are two. The sender and receiver of a transaction must both be online. This is because during the operation a double check must be performed between the parties, so as to be able to guarantee safety and correctness. Problems due to the centralization of capital. The network needs funds to be able to function. Therefore, large players could take over, endowed with huge resources, increasing their centralization. As seen so far, Lightning is still an excellent remedy for the well-known limitations of Bitcoin. Thanks to it, the famous cryptocurrency becomes truly spendable in everyday life. With thanks, use cases and intrinsic value grow. How to interact with the Lightning Network. Entering the world of Lightning Network is not complex. You just need to know and download the correct tools. The available options are different, but here we will only explore the most popular and simple to configure. As a first choice, we can opt for Blue Wallet. It is a mobile wallet that offers various services. Among these, there is obviously full support for the Lightning Network. Simply go to the bluewallet.io website and click on the desired version button between Android and iOS. Once downloaded, a quick configuration will be required, but don't worry, the procedure is simple and guided. In any case, here are some step-by-step tips on how to get around. Install the application on the mobile device of our interest. After opening it, click on the Add Now button in the window with the wording, Add a Wallet. It is possible to give a name to the wallet that we are going to create. Select Lightning and save the recovery QR code, which will be shown on the screen. Completed procedure. Very easy, right? Blue Wallet can also perform the function of a classic Bitcoin wallet or safe, the latter suitable for keeping large sums safe. You don't need to configure any node or channel. You are already automatically operational on LDN Hub. One less thought to worry about. To deposit funds, simply click on the large orange Wallet button and follow the instructions to proceed. Even the exchange of capital is simple and based on the scanning of QR codes, very practical and quick to execute. You just need to experiment a little and get familiar with it, but nothing complex. Blue Wallet is designed to make users' lives easier. Thanks for watching the video. Please support us by subscribing, leave a like and a comment.